Hi, I'm Ariana Stecker, one of the founders of Ask Irisfields and Irisfields, and I thought it would be really great if you heard a testimonial right from the source. So here with me today, I have Victoria. It's so great to see you.
So great to see you again, Ariana.
Congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you so much.
That is so amazing, such an amazing time. So, I thought it would be really great for our viewers to actually hear directly from you a little bit about your history, a little bit about your wedding planning, and I think it'd be best if we started off, if you wouldn't mind telling the story about your first engagement that kind of went a little awry. Would you mind telling that story?
Sure, no problem. So I was engaged before, obviously, and it was extremely stressful. The whole planning process was just a nightmare. We had parents weighing in-laws weighing in, friends weighing in. Everybody had an opinion, and we all seemed to forget that it was about my fiance and I at the end of the day. Now, of course, we didn't know at the time, but in hindsight, we could have really used a planner to be that person that says, you know what, it's about the bride and groom, and is that go-to person for us.
So you kind of felt like you were out of control, you didn't really have like your own say anymore.
Absolutely. We felt like we were trying to be pleasing everybody else around us, and it wasn't really about us anymore.
Right.
Which definitely caused a lot of stress at the time.
And psychologically, that's kind of weird because, you're young, but yet you're adults, you're working now,
Right.
talking to your parents about money and who wants to do what, and who's going to wear what. It's almost kind of like, I don't know, being a kid again in some ways, right?
Yeah, so it was so surreal, to go to your parents and especially talk about that money part.
Right.
Because, you're an adult, you're getting married, but it kind of creates a totally different dynamic.
Right, and different opinions with someone like your new family, which is amazing, but you're kind of talking about very stressful things. So I can totally understand. So I'm sure that's not the only reason it didn't work out, but I'm so happy that you're here now and you married the man of your dreams, and we just helped you plan this amazing wedding. But if you wouldn't mind, telling some of our viewers as why we're here today about, what do you feel is the, worth of having someone to ask questions to and just kind of be your support system during the planning process?
Absolutely. It's priceless. Absolutely priceless. From finding the perfect venue to the tiny little details that I didn't even know I needed to know about.
Sure.
To managing vendor relationships, especially contracts, which were so confusing. Figuring out what those fees you didn't know about were for at the end of the day, and knowing about all these things before you go into it, and really getting a much better idea of what the big picture is, but especially nailing down those little details.
Yeah. And maybe someone to tell you to step away from the computer.
Yes.
Internet search.
Stop Googling.
Yeah, there's just an oversaturation of information.
Endless. It's endless.
Yeah, it can be a little difficult. So I know you do have also a really interesting story. Now, I love to tell it, and I think it's one thing when it's coming from someone who's been in business for over 10 years and a planner, but I'd love to hear from the bride's point of view kind of what happened in those, last 72 hours before your wedding.
Well, it is quite a story. Thank goodness you were there to come to the rescue. So you, of course, insisted on the walkthrough the Monday before our wedding, which was on a Saturday. We chose the church. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was what we wanted. And then you did that walkthrough, and there was light construction going on, which turned out to be complete demolition, scaffolding, and repainting of the entire interior 5 days before our wedding. To which they said, it'll be done, it'll be done. It was not going to be done. So you stepped right in, I think perhaps slept over at our venue to solve this problem.
Sure.
To get all the construction out of the way, cleaned up, and you would have never known the day of your wedding, when I was walking down the aisle, that not 72 hours before, it was under complete construction, and it turned out beautifully. I have no idea what I would have done without you.
And at that point, your future family, your family, everybody was in town, right?
Yes.
So, and they were probably all giving opinions.
All had opinions on this. Move your date, move the time, move the venue, do this, do that. It was so overwhelming and so stressful.
Or walk down the aisle with a crane.
Right. Or walk down the aisle with the crane. That was
Right.
another one. But you really nailed down the best 3 suggestions and helped me choose the right one, and it turned out perfectly, and fielded all these many opinions.
Right.
And put everything at bay and reminded us that at the end of the day, it's about getting married and it's all going to be okay. And to
Right.
control. It was amazing.
So I think what I'm hearing you say, kind of like the point you're trying to drive home, is that the security of having someone to ask questions to, or an expert, this is our job, this is what we do all day long. And you're supposed to enjoy the wedding planning process, and things do happen. They always do. It's something I've been saying since the start of my career. That, from what I'm hearing from you, it really just sounds like you having that person to lean on, having that person that you know at the end of the day there will be a solution, whether it was exactly the way we planned or we have to move a crane out of your aisle and put something up, that your guests are going to have the best time. And the feedback from your wedding was amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I can't thank you enough. And you're absolutely right. That person to go to, that expert to be like, what do I do now? I have no idea what I would have done. There's a giant crane there and somebody wasn't there to help me figure it out.
Yeah, and you and your fiance were doing it out-of-town guests, and you know, both work full-time, so it's just have someone to ask those questions to is really
absolutely
Invaluable.
invaluable.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to see you. Thank you for giving us. I think this will be really helpful to anybody else watching and thinking about, you know, having someone to ask questions to or help them with their day or any kind of part of the wedding planning process. And good luck to you in your marriage.
Thank you so much, Ariana.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Take care.